Hi, I'm Matti Mali aka Hidden Stick Actor, and I do one of these worst films I've ever seen listings in a row because my Macbeth review is taking some time, but it should become either tomorrow or day after that. Okay, and today we have from numbers 40 to 31, and number 40 is 102 Dalmatians. Yeah, it's a live action version. There's apparently an animated movie of the same name, which is a sequel to the 1961 animated classic, which I haven't seen. The previous, the 101 Dalmatians, the live-action version from 1996. Yeah, it's an alright movie. It has lots of action, and Glenn Close as the Cruella de Vil who wants to kill those puppies and make fur out of them is quite menacing. 102 Dalmatians is the... It has the same problem like many sequels who try to do more and add just more stuff. And in this, the Cruella who was arrested during the previous movie they are trying to heal her, but it doesn't really work. And I can't much. And it also apparently has Zero Dibadieu as her old colleague, who also wants to kill animals. Just because. Okay, I don't actually remember that much of the plot, and I can't even judge the acting because I've only seen the Finnish dub version. Yeah. These days I don't watch dubs if they are live action dubs, because I have some principles that stealing one's voice is okay, yeah. And this is one of those kind of kids movies that I don't want to waste too much time on. So let's just say that it's loud and obnoxious, and kind of like the number 39, the Flintstones in Viva Rock Vegas. And the first Flintstones movie, it was also an okay film. John Goodman as the Flintstone. What was his first name again? I don't know. Yeah, he was good and lots of manic energy, and the rest of the cast weren't bad either. And yeah, its plot was kind of simple, but you know, it was harmless. Well, none of the original cast are in this movie. John Goodman has been replaced by Mark Addy, whoever that is, and then there's Stephen Baldwin and Jane Krakowski and Joan Allen. This is actually a prequel to the first live action Flintstones movie. It basically tells that how the Flintstones, what was the other couple, Rock Bubbles, met each other. This is, for those who don't know what Flintstones is, it's this humans exist in prehistoric time, and they have invented cars and stuff, but without all the fancy motorcycles. They have a kind of a modern society with archaic technology kind of thing, which I guess is funny in itself, but yeah. And I got to be honest, I don't remember much about this movie. Well, I remember that there was the annoying alien, played by Alan Cumming. What was his name? I don't remember what was his name, Z-Bot or something, but I know that many fans of Flintstones franchise hate this character. So yeah, it was a wise choice to put him into this movie, yeah. But honestly, that's pretty much all I remember, and I didn't bother to check this Wikipedia entry because I have movies in today's listing that I feel are that I can get much more out of and feel that I should talk about more of them. So let's go to the next one. One of the your examples of classic bad movies, Batman and Robin. Yeah, the fourth movie in the old Batman and Robin movie quadrilogy that started with the 1989's Batman. And first I want to say that I liked the previous movie Batman Forever, even though both Two-Face and Riddler, the villains, are basically the Joker. They're just all kind of manic and stuff. And well, Kilmer's an okay Batman, yeah. Well, this time Batman is George Clooney, and you know, that is a good casting choice, but this movie just went too far in its childlike attitude, and yeah, one critic has said that this movie is a prime example of what happens when everybody is interested about nothing else but their paychecks, and you can kind of see that the plot progression makes absolutely no sense, and then there's some bizarre casting stuff like Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze, you know, the tragic villain whose wife is in the tube and he is trying to get a way to cure him, and there's just so much pain in him. And well, okay, to be fair, Mr. Schwarzenegger does occasionally manage to bring that up, but otherwise it's just also hidden under those weird accent and over bombastic ice puns. Time to kick some ice! What killed the dinosaurs? The ice age and that stuff. And then there's Uma Thurman as Poison Ivy, who is just uninspiredly over the top seductress who actually isn't that seducing because she's trying too hard. And it has also Bane, which is just a mindless tank. At least what was it, Dark Knight Returns manages to make that character much more compelling. And also there's the Batgirl, played by Alicia Silverstone, who should be the Butler Alfred's niece, but she can't do English accent. And Chris O'Donnell as Robin is okay, although the character does tend to whine a lot. Yeah. At least the Batman and Robin is a better superhero movie than the next one on the list, Superman 3. I haven't actually seen the fourth Superman, which to my understanding is even worse. I've seen the nostalgia critic Linkara crossover review that they released in 2009, and it seemed like a movie I don't want to watch. And Superman 3 was bad in itself, because it has basically the same problem as Batman and Robin. It tries to go too much into the comedy aspect, and because the first and second movie had some levity in it and some stronger drama, and when it's thrown away in this third one, and there's also this weird case where there's two Supermans. Somehow, I don't remember anymore how, Superman gets split into a good side and a bad side, and they apparently fight. And then there's some weird computer genius, which basically is, I think his name was Weber, which basically is a lot of like Lex Luthor, but not as memorable, charismatic. I don't understand why they couldn't just use Lex Luthor or some other villain in this, but yeah. And then there's of course infamously Richard Pryor as this constantly comedic sidekick to Superman who just bumbles around the movie, and yeah. And there's this of course the old cast, Christopher Reeve as Superman and Margot Kidder as Lois Lane, but it just feels uninspired for both of them. And yeah, it was a stupid movie. And yeah, there's another stupid superhero movie, RoboCop 3. Well, I guess RoboCop is a superhero in a sense, as Batman is counted as a superhero even though he doesn't have any superpowers, but anyway. I liked the first RoboCop movie, and the second one was alright as well. Even though it didn't have the best plot, but it has some rather neat characters. But the third movie, and once again this, they want to go into the kids movie route. And there's this one child character who is this computer genius, and she's just so preppy and annoyingly cheery and stuff. Although I distinctly remember that movie had a good cinematography. There's this clever scene change where three men died and they fall, and in the next shot they are transformed into domino pieces, and yeah. And for those who don't know, it's RoboCop is about a futuristic cop in futuristic Detroit. And I should also mention about RoboCop 3 that it kind of ignores one key plot progression point from the second movie and goes to do its own thing. Yeah, there's a different RoboCop, Robert John Burke, who that is kind of forgettable. And then there's this Japanese company that tries to take over of something. There's Meiko and Rip Torn, and there's the ridiculous ending climax where there's these two robotic samurais and fight against RoboCop. But yeah. Okay, number 35, The Adventures of Ford Fairlane. And I promise this is the last Rennie Harley directed film in this movie. This movie is about this kind of an detective played by Andrew Dice Clay, who apparently is this kind of an hated comedian. I'm sure was this his unfunny comedy aspects as the persona he's playing. Apparently some kind of a deconstruction of these offensive comedians, but anyway, he plays this kind of a detective that investigates crimes that happen in a rock and roll world, and there's he's trying to find there's some conspiracy where is this woman played by Priscilla Presley involved, and then there's some kid who is trying to look for his father, and Ford Fairlane is trying to investigate that, and there's a sort of conspiracy and action, and I just thought it was unfunny and obnoxious, and there's I don't want I should have read this movie's Wikipedia article, because once again I don't remember a single thing from the broad progression, but I guess I have movies to talk about that made me feel stronger emotions. So let's go to the next one, Atlantis, Milo's Return. Yeah, this is the last of those Disney sequels that they made in the early to mid 2000s, and with the first Atlantis movie, I thought it was passable. It didn't have that many memorable characters, but there was cool actions, and it was an alright action flick, but something that I forget the next day. Milo's Return though, and once again I can't just the original acting because I was the dub version, but it has 3 stories, kind of like in Tarzan and Jane, which was also in this list, and though all of those stories are unbelievably stupid, and yeah, there's one I remember, there was some sand coyote somewhere, and then there was... what was it? Oh yeah, some guy who thought he was a descendant of the Norse god of thunder Thor and had some of his own floating castle somewhere. I think it was floating, I may remember it. And then there's some story that had a fish people, and all of them had the same. Those 3 stories frame some kind of story device that is... oh, my camera is too low. That is solved after them, and why I have so hard time remembering any of these? Yeah, maybe in this case it's a good thing I forgot. Yeah, let's just go to the next one, which I have a lot more of to say. And in this point, Atlantis Milo's Return is the last from this list that I gave 3 out of 10 at the Internet Movie Database. So now we have reached those that I gave 2 out of 10. Yeah, so yeah, they must be really bad. But so let's go to the number 33, See Me Dance. I originally found out about this movie from a review show, Cheapskate Reviews. It's a review show where the guy, Michael Witry, he reviews movies that are can be watched from internet for legally free. And See Me Dance was his show's first episode. And I recommend the guy's work. Even though his video reviews have ended recently, he still writes written reviews. You can watch his stuff from Channel Zero. It's kind of a same kind of content providing site as Manic Expression. But anyway, people who know what this movie is may be wondering why I put this movie so even this high in the list, because there are some elements in it that certainly lowers its degree, like the inept acting and this bizarre plot progression that jumps from place to place and forgets certain story elements, but there are 2 things that work in this movie's favor. First is the premise, which has some brilliant potential. So, See Me Dance is about this ballerina girl who gets leukemia. and this of course upsets her and her father, played by the movie's director and writer Greg Robbins, and I think he's the only notable name in this, so I don't bother to list any other actor. So yeah, he's her father, who works as for a TV channel that provides Christian material, and he's basically he's their content provider. And yeah, she gets leukemia, and if the story would have continued in that route, it would have probably been just your average melodrama that you forget the next pain. But when she has leukemia, she gets powers from God to basically turn people into Christians by simply touching them. And you know, like Cheapskate mentioned in his review, this premise has so much potential. Basically thinking about why God would like to do that, and why God, and how this kind of broadcasting thoughts could be abused by some greedy guys, and but unfortunately the movie doesn't go that route, and it makes it unintentionally reprehensible by that mean. What I mean is that yeah, it starts as a melodrama, and then at the 45-minute mark it tries to some kind of religious horror as Satan enters into the picture, and that guy is whoever plays the Satan, what was his name, Peter Kent, who is some stuntman, he provides some menace, but in this movie Satan is kind of a wimp. And he is all talk and that, but he doesn't actually do anything noteworthy. And yeah, the movie is kind of like its main character, who is quite badly acted, is also really shallow and self-centered, unintentionally so, and kind of self-righteous, because the movie doesn't acknowledge what kind of heinous thing it is to take away person's free will to choose do they want to become Christians or not, because that's the whole point of the God's whole saving the humanity plan of sacrificing his own son at the cross, so the people's sins will be washed out, and they would receive salvation by taking the Christ into their hearts. And because when you get this power to turn people into Christians and basically ruin any free will, it makes Jesus' sacrifice completely pointless. Yeah. This movie made all the Jesus' suffering and hanging in the cross was for nothing, because 2000 years later some girl managed to got a shortcut road to do the same thing that Jesus tried to achieve during his lifetime and after his death, and apparently the movie makers themselves don't acknowledge this, the moral bankruptcy this movie portrays, and yeah, but the premise is brilliant, but they just waste it. And another saving grace is its comedy, both intentional and unintentional, because whenever the girl, I think Sherry was her name, she and her father are having conversations, there's some genuinely... They have some kind of a good something resembling a good chemistry. Greg Robbins, while not the most versatile, he manages to do okay with the material he's written himself. Yeah, I think his character is the most complex one in this whole mess. And but it has some life-tasting humor. It's well, not particularly funny. Managed to bring some kind of out of me. It had a good heart. The movie has good heart, but it's severely misguided, and its intentions are good, but they say that Road to Hell is paved with good intentions or something. Well, the makers of this movie probably don't go to hell. I don't claim that, but it's just misguided. And you might be wondering, if I already saw a review from it that spoiled the entire thing, then why I would want to watch that even? Because usually I don't watch movies that other people review because of their taste. But I thought the premise itself was so brilliant and full of potential that I watched it from the net. At least at the time when I watched it, it was legally available for free, and yeah, I can see the potential. And I honestly think that I can tell the same story better. So stay tuned. So let's go to the number 32, Staying Alive. Yeah, I have much more easier time remembering this because Cinema Snob recently reviewed this movie. And it's a sequel to Saturday Night Fever, which has the young John Travolta playing this kind of Italian guy who has a dead-end job, but he's the king in the disco scene. And while I don't think that movie is the kind of a super duper classic that many other people think, I still think it's a good movie. It has I think it has too much padding, but it is a decent drama. Unlike this, its sequel, which is directed by Sylvester Stallone of all people, it has even more padding, all those boring dance scenes at the disco, and its main plot is that very thin main plot is that same kind of melodrama, the triangle drama, and it has John Travolta. His character basically learned nothing from the previous movie, and I don't think this movie even acknowledges much of the previous movie. He is an annoying douchebag, and the dialogue is... I think they tried to the improvisation route, but somehow it's stilled, and there was the one scene where the John Travolta character talks with his mother, and that I remember particularly annoying. Then there's this... even the worst, the final dance sequence, the one that all these characters have been rehearsed for, Satan's Alley, it's just so weird, all kind of this dark leather and satanic lights, and it's just so bizarre and comes out of nowhere that it's just so much of a head filter. Yeah, just watch Cinema Snob's review of that. I think he can manage to explain it better than I do. So let's just go to the final movie today, number 31, Smoking Aces. This is in the same vein as some of those movies action movies that try to rip off Pulp Fiction and try to be kind of this Quentin Tarantino-esque way, bubbling, clever dialogue, and lots of action, but yeah, it's a kind of a different ways that kind of like I like some of those movies. I mean, I think Boondock Saints is a good movie, and it has a good message. It has an interesting study of is vigilantism a good thing or not. And Smoking Aces also reminds me a movie that came later, Lucky Number 11, because it has same kind of weird kind of plot that goes on several turns and tries to be so clever with its turns. And well, Lucky Number 11 was okay, even though its ending was kind of stupid. But Smoking Aces is just of trying too hard dialogue and plot points that make no sense whatsoever, and way too many characters are just there, though they could have lots of action scenes and killing. I checked this movie's Wikipedia article to remind me what the plot was about, and yeah, it's messy. There's this one guy played by Jeremy Piven, who is this mafia dude working on Las Vegas in some casino. He's a magician and he is trying to... he has a deal with FBI that he could tell some stuff about the mafia. The two FBI agents are played by Ryan Reynolds and Ray Liotta, and then several assassins with different agenda are trying to get the Jeremy Piven character dead. And yeah, there's quite a lot of list of those. Ben Affleck, Peter Berg, Common, Andy Garcia, Alicia Keys, Taraji P. Henson, Chris Pine, Joel Edgerton, Jason Bateman. Well, not all of them are assassins, but there's lots of... This is so many well-known actors in this movie, and yeah, it's a... and they do decent job with the stupid material that they have. I don't remember anyone particularly bad or good. They're all just or just are really confused about what the hell is going on around them. And the movie jumps from place to place and feels like it's inventing stuff as it goes along. And yeah, I'm not sure. And all the things why this whole mess happened was kind of a stupid too, but I won't spoil it because I can believe it myself. Okay, well, I guess that was it for today. Be sure to... hopefully the my Macbeth movie review will come soon. But wait for the next worst movie list where we continue with those that I gave 2 out of 10. So yeah, lots of badness is going to follow. Bye.